Good evening. Good evening, Chiwempala. And today I've been asked to say good evening to Mpansha in Rufunsa. That's a very special greetings to people in Rufunsa, in Mpansha area. Good evening to our people in Siavonga tonight. Good evening to people in Kasama Central, in Kitwe. Good evening to our people in Mugubudu, especially in Chipangali, because there's something special about Chipangali tonight. Good evening to our people in Sioma. Good evening to our people in Kembe. And good evening to our people in Nchelenje tonight. My name is Norman Chipakupaku. I'm coming live from Scotland. And this is TV Bakwetu. And I hope to be joined tonight by my colleagues who might be joining me. Unfortunately, our colleague Jeremy is not coming live because he's traveling, and Munsha will be joining us later on. For tonight, viewers, is a day to go before general elections. And we've got a menu for you, a good menu for you. One is the story I told you yesterday that the PF had decided to use Dr. Kaunda's voice video to sort of promote their propaganda against HH. I wanted us to have a good discussion about that. I will vent what I want to vent. I will be joined by a number of people who might say something. We will also move on to ECL decides to remain in the Copper Belt. President Lungu has decided that he is going to move camp, go to the Copper Belt and turn Copper Belt because he doesn't want HH to go. But our information we have is that HH is actually on his way to the Copper Belt. So we'll see what's going to happen because tomorrow is the last day for campaigning. And then the next item is going to be the PF teachers unions, surrogates of PF teachers unions prepare to rig elections in the Northern Province and the Copper Belt. We've got a number of PF surrogates, the teachers union. One of them is called Nupez, another one is called Petus. They are working with PF to try and cheat in the Copper Belt and the Northern Province. We will also move on to an update from HH's team. I just hope that now will be joining us to be able to give us an update. And then the final thing is that we're going to have an appeal on how to vote, because as you're aware, tomorrow is the last day. We'll be telling you exactly how to vote. But we'll also be telling you some of the things which are happening, especially on the borders with Malawi, on the borders with the neighboring countries, where it's believed a number of people are being ferried to come and vote. So I think that's the menu for tonight. Let's see how it goes. And when Munsha is ready, he will be able to join us. But for tonight, if you've got stars, you want to give us stars, you are most welcome to give us stars. If you want to join, some of the things are happening, especially on the border. Sorry for the feedback. And if you want to really give us your feedback, you want to join the show, ladies and gentlemen, you are free to join us tonight. There will be a link which I'll try and post on the Facebook page. Try and join us. Try and join us by clicking the link itself and join us live. We will make sure that you participate, but we also want to make sure that you give us stars. You go and give us stars so that we can make this broadcast very, very interesting. As I said, tomorrow is the last day of campaign. The campaigns are ending at about 6 o'clock. So I think we've got plans to bring your broadcasts earlier than that, so that PF does not say that we have violated the campaign rules. And it simply means we might broadcast earlier tomorrow and make sure that we wind up our campaigns and then wait for the actual day of voting. And we also hope that we'll keep updating you about what is happening, especially the issue of the internet being shut down. We just got a statement this evening from our colleagues in the EU, we have told the government that you cannot shut the internet down. So straight from fresh on the campaign, I would like us to move straight to the HH's update on HH's team, and if possible, to hear more from our own Mobita Nawa, who's special assistant to President HH. I don't know where he is. It's up to him to tell us where he is, but is able to join us now. Good evening, Mobita Nawa. Are you able to hear me loud and clear?
I can hear you. Good evening, Uncle Norman. Good evening, and everybody. It's wonderful to be joined by you.
I am solo tonight. I hope the rest of the team will join me later on. But if not, I'm used to do solo shows. I'm able to do solo operations on my own. So tell me, where are you? Or is it you don't want to know where you are?
I'm in Zambia.
I know. So how is the campaign? How is the campaign? I know that you flew from the western province. You were in Livingstone. You have been in southern province. So what is new? And then we are also told that the president of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency, the Commander in Chief, doesn't want to leave the Copper Belt. What's happening now?
So first of all, we just want to thank the Zambian people, especially those who are in the diaspora, for your patience, your understanding, your support of the work that's going on within Zambia. I know that a lot of you are on the ground supporting individuals, supporting groups, churches, and including some of you are personally supporting polling agents and polling stations to make sure that they have the sufficient resources in this mobilization, because I think everybody is agreeing that we are now at a critical stage where we need to take care of the vote protection. Our campaign with the president has been going on really, really well. As we may recall, we had challenges with police in Eastern Province, challenges with police in certain parts of Western Province. And for the most part, those were the major challenges, and a bit of Luapula Province. But when it came to Southern Province and a bit of Northern Province, for the most part, we did very well. And what we are beginning to see is that the police are somehow overwhelmed. For example, yesterday in Livingstone, we are seated and swarms of people are coming, and two police vans come with these young police cadets and who just look very, very much overwhelmed by the task at hand. But the numbers are just too many. So we did Livingstone yesterday, we did Zimba, and we did Kalomo, and we did Choma. The culmination of yesterday's campaign was Choma. I think the president was arriving in Choma around 2030. It was overwhelming. I mean, it was overwhelming. And today we started with Pemba, into Chisekesi, into Monze, into Magoye, until we had another culmination into Mazabuka today. I have never seen people like that. I mean, I thought Mwilunga was big. I thought Kaoma was big. I thought Choma was big. Mazabuka, Uncle Norman, I have never. I mean, you know where your hair stands up and the hair on the hair stands up and your spirit just says to you, it's truly time. We are scheduled to be in the Copper Belt tomorrow morning. Uncle Norman, it's becoming tricky. It's becoming tricky because, as you heard, there is a new rule apparently, which is the President of the Republic needs more security now. I don't know for what reason. When we had gassing, he didn't need more security. When 48 people died, we didn't need more security. Suddenly, he needs more security. And according to him, he cannot be in the same town as Hakainde Hichilema. And I like what President Hakainde asked him today on his page. He said, basically, we live in the same town. I was with
Exactly.
you at the same funeral with Kaunda. We shook hands. What
So what's the
security do you
problem?
need? We don't know what the problem is. And it doesn't make sense. But the only sense it makes is I believe that the Patriotic Front have been watching the momentum of the UPND, and they are aware of the strides that we have made, the warmth with which Zambians have received us, and therefore they know the Kopala spirit. They understand the way Copper Belt people are, and they don't want that picture of Mazabuka, of Mwinilunga, of Choma, or Chipata in Ilundazi, or Katete, or Petauke. They do not want that image to come out from Copperbelt.
President network, I don't know where it's coming from. How is he coping with all that? It takes somebody with a lot of stamina to do that, to do what he's doing.
President Hakainde is, today I was having a conversation with myself. As much as I work in his office and I'm privileged to be with him, there's a part of me that never takes him for granted, that stands in awe and in reverence and in respect of the man that he is. And I was having a conversation today that how does this man manage to stand? He's literally standing in that vehicle from Livingstone to Lusaka and waving at the people, talking to the people. And I realized, number one, it's God's mission for his life. I think that when God gives you a vision, he also gives you provision for that particular thing. So I believe that it is God's purpose for his life. I also believe that him being a head boy, a cow header as a young person, I think it prepared him for this kind of role. You know, those young boys who take cattle into the fields to graze, they stay for hours without eating, without certain comforts. And even those of us who work around the president, we are learning to cope with his schedule, his eating schedule, for example, his resting schedule. But you can literally tell, I think even he is aware that the time has come. And he's doing very well physically, spiritually,
Yeah.
emotionally. He is absolutely ready for this moment.
What I really don't understand, I know HH, I know him, but I don't think I would stand the pressure is going on, especially when you hear a head of state saying, this man, if he was somewhere else, he would be shot in the head. How does he handle that?
I would like to remind you, when you had me about 5 days ago, you asked me about Antonio Mwanza, and my answer to you was very succinct. I said to you, there is no way Antonio Mwanza can speak like that unless he has heard those words from somewhere. And hearing the head of state say those words, first of all, was very sad, because that office of a president is a sacred office. If leaders are given to us by God, it's a sacred office. And I think what we would like to see with the coming in of President Hakainde as the 7th Republican president of Zambia is a change in tone, a much more diplomatic, a much more cordial, a much more emotionally stable tone, and perhaps even a reconciliatory tone to everybody. Having said that, President Hakainde is very calm. I'll give you an instance. We were at the cathedral during Dr. Kaunda's funeral, and I'll spare you a bit of details. But something happened in the cathedral, and President Hakainde looked at me in the eye and he called me and he says, Mobita, I need you to learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G. President Hakainde is a calm person, and his calmness however inspiring, can be a bit irritating for some of us who are firecrackers. Some of us who by now would have shot bazookas of words and what, but no, not him. He never responds to these people, and that is really inspiring of a leader.
There's a comment here, Mobita. There's somebody called Mia Admin who says Lungu doesn't like HH because he's intimidated by HH and knows that HH is by far a better person, diplomat, leader of all round. HH commands respect and is self-made man. Why won't Lungu turn green, no pun intended, with envious evil? I think that's what I would call it. Because you know what? There is a saying in Eastern province that mwana wa mbuzi eonera anyina o awisi kunyera mkola. So Antonio Mwanza heard Mr. Lungu saying HH must be shot in the head. And for me, I think it's disgusting. And I think it's very clear that Mr. Lungu, President Lungu, Dr. Lungu, Commander-in-Chief is scared. He's damn scared of a citizen, that you'd even wish a citizen dead. It's really, really scary. I really don't understand. And that's why I'm saying you and I would have gone into a tantrum. Me, I would have gone ballistic, but he's not.
He's very calm. And in all these trips, even what he's talking about, he's still communicating his vision for Zambia, his love for Zambia. I think if HH was a pilot and President Lungu was a pilot, if both gentlemen were pilots and the plane was crashing and I was to be told which pilot would you prefer to have, I would certainly go for HH, because that kind of a pilot gives confidence. But I also think to a greater extent, there is a bit of jealousy in terms of the love that people have towards Hakainde Hichilema. There's a bit of jealousy. Perhaps I'm underestimating the levels of jealousy. But if you look at the response, the respect, the responsibility, the resonance, the reflections that not only local Zambians, but the diplomatic and international community are having towards Zambia, you can tell we have all missed having a good man as a president. It's important to be good to people. The Bible says in Romans 12:28, by all means, be at peace with all men. And so I think Zambians are yearning for that, to just have a good man as a head of state, just a good man, a man who speaks well of others, a man who has good decorum, good manners, good etiquette, diplomatic etiquette, international etiquette. I'll give you an instance. There was a time Zambia needed to borrow money from the International Monetary Fund. President Lungu was on record and said, I don't care, they can go. We don't need their money. We are a sovereign nation. And the International Monetary Fund never came. And then Zambia now, a year and a half later, was in proper financial and physical challenges. Dr. Wangandu, if my memory serves me right, was Minister of Finance, and he was unwell that weekend. Guess who met the International Monetary Fund that weekend? The very man who said he didn't need them. We need a president. We need a president who will respect the international community. Right now, the Americans are not happy with Zambia. They're not happy with the president of the republic. And in that letter that Senator Mendes wrote, Bob Mendes wrote, he specifically said in that letter, written to Joe Biden, basically pleading with Joe Biden to check his relationship with Zambia and saying Zambia has deteriorated diplomatically, deteriorated with the rule of law and freedoms. And he basically said, under President Lungu, the tenets of democracy have gone down the drain.
When I read that statement from Senator Menendez, and I read the statement from the American charge d'affaires in Zambia, and I was saying to myself, wow, I thought Mr. Lungu was going to sit up But it's very, very clear that he doesn't realize what the damage he has made to our country. Because if we are put on the list of the people, leaders who are put on the list, American list, not to travel, it simply means if they would ban us from going to the UN, and he doesn't understand that. They would ban us from from a lot of resources like the World Bank and IMF. But it seems he doesn't care. It looks like he really doesn't care. And he thinks that the Chinese would give us all the support. I don't think so. Already we have not paid the Chinese loans for the last 6 months. We've not paid the interest for Euro bonds. So I find it very, very difficult that somebody who should be sitting up, because those are signals to say, Mr. President, sit up, but he's not sitting up. And instead, he goes on the airport, he says, somebody should be shot in the head. He's sending wrong signals every day. So it's just strange. I find it very, very difficult. And for Zambians, you are watching this. No, it's difficult. Now, imagine this. Yesterday, we intercepted a video, which I'll discuss later on. They are using Dr. Kaunda's name now to spread hatred against HH. How did he handle that? How did he receive that?
President Hakainde is a very focused man who rarely allows detractors to get his attention. Don't forget, this is a man who, all the people that left UPND or left the alliance, who said nasty things about him, he has never responded to them to this day. So the video in question regarding Dr. Kaunda, first of all, President Hakainde respects the legacy of Dr. Kaunda, will defend the legacy of Dr. Kaunda, and he will ensure he emulates all the positive aspects of Dr. Kaunda. So for anyone that wants to then use the name of Dr. Kaunda to go after their enemy, Zambians must remember this is the same hatred that is fueling this as the hatred that fueled.
It looks like we have lost now here. And I'm not sure what is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, are you able to hear us?
I can hear you. Sorry.
Go ahead, please. Yes, you're talking about Dr. Kaunda's legacy. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I was saying his legacy is so big that young boys and girls politically are trying to borrow power and to leverage their weapons of attacking President Hakainde. And I was just reminding our viewers that the same hatred that fueled the Hatembo saga, that fueled the tribalism of Chishimba Kambwili, that fueled all these people that are always attacking HH. It's the same mentality. When you hate someone so bad, it doesn't matter what they do, you will always attack them. And this is what they are doing. But the beautiful thing is, HH is not worried. I am not worried, because Zambians have opened their eyes. They can see through venom. They can see through vengeance. And they can see through revenge. And perhaps it's very, very important that, if nothing else, up until this point, we can learn leadership qualities from Hakainde Hichilema. Let me mention, before I lose that thought, I enjoy building. I work with bricklayers a lot. But I've noticed something with general workers, Uncle Norman. There are certain things they are good at. But above those things, don't expect anything more. What you are seeing currently in PF, this is them. This is them at their best. These are the people who told ministers, stay in office. I have read the constitution. You are entitled to that money. These are the people who said the fire trucks that we have bought, I've checked the procedures of purchase. They were correct. These are the people who said those 48 houses, let this one. This is their best. Don't expect a snake to soar like an eagle. There will always be a snake. Don't expect a chicken to run like a horse. There will always be a chicken. This is his best, and we shouldn't expect anything more. Even if he was to win this election, he came back for another 5 years. Don't expect anything else, anything more. This is his best. We'll always get this from him. He has reached his maximum speed of leadership and capacity. That's why we need to change and put a man who's able to take this nation to another level.
Mobita and our viewers, I've just come off a phone call with Dr Kaunda. I know I'll discuss it later on. He's disgusted by that video. Really, really disgusted. And it's like he says it's witchcraft. It's like trying to use somebody's legacy, his voice, somebody who's died, to attack another person. It's disgusting. For our viewers who have not seen that in the video, it's actually doctored. It's on ZNBC and it's on movie TV. It's disgusting that you can bring somebody who's dead and try and use that his voice to try and attack another person. I think it's just disgusting. Mobita, 1 day to go. Where do you see this? Because I can tell you what I think. I know the PF is planning horrible things in the Eastern Province. I'll tell you on the borders with the Bubwi. I'll tell you that this evening I was on a phone call somewhere in the Eastern Province where some teachers have been, a teacher being given a police uniform so that they can guard people who will be coming from nowhere. Where do you think UPND is? You've been traveling with the president. Tomorrow is the last day. Where do you think we are? Giving yourself out of 10, because I'm biased. So you are with the president on the ground. Give yourself a mark.
I think the real mark will come at the end of Thursday on August 12th to see the turnout. And let me use this opportunity to remind Zambians that regardless of the negative news we keep hearing around so many bad things, I mean, I've never seen so much evil in my whole life. Not in Mogadishu, I've never seen so much evil. In fact, perhaps the other evil, they would chop off your arm whilst you can see it. But this evil literally chops off people's rights in the name of humility, in the name of Christianity. So I would like to encourage every voter to turn out in numbers. Part of how we avoid rigging is to increase the percentage of turnout, the voter percentage turnout. If we can push it in the 60-70% ratio, then we're going to have a wonderful election. We are going to achieve that 50+1 mark. That's number one. As a party, given the circumstances of our rallies being banned, our vice president being stopped left, right, and center, even today she was stopped from entering Chililabombwe, our president literally at one point being marooned in basically under house arrest. Our party members being locked up. Right now, as I speak, some are still in prison, some in jails. When you are with UPND members, you come back from the police cell and you say, oh, I spent 3 days in cell. Somebody will say, 3 days. Me, I did 1 month. I just came up. Me, I did. It's almost like we have all really suffered as a party. And for that, I would like to give everybody a pat on the back, but we must not rest. Yeah. The responsibility of politics is not to feel proud, to say I'm popular, I'm famous. The responsibility of politics is to serve people. It's to solve problems. It's to be accountable, to be transparent. However we do on Thursday, we must remember that the real task begins on Friday, on Saturday. It is over the next 5 years to make sure there's medicine in hospitals, to make sure there's no corruption when building roads, to make sure that these farmers, even these farmers this season who supplied maize to FRA, we should pay them. Retirees are paid. That is when we shall know, 5 years from today, how we'll have done. Until then, we have to protect the vote, mobilize, and make sure the demon that has taken over the Patriotic Front leadership should never come near us as UPND.
Okay, so this evening, we received a very interesting message from Dr. Piri, a former member of Central Committee in PF, a former Minister of Education, who has basically said, Mr. President, Dr. Lungu, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief, accept that time is up. I'm not sure whether you've heard that video,
Yes.
that audio,
Yes.
Mobita.
Yes.
What's your comment about that?
To be honest with you, in Africa, it's difficult to expect leaders to resign on their own because they are usually under a lot of pressure from the people around them. Let me remind the people also that in 2019, early 2019, President Lungu was speaking at the Engineers Institute Summit at Radisson Blu Hotel on a Friday, and he said, I'm not going to stand in 2021. He said that. Those words came from his mouth. He said, I'm not going to stand in 2021. That was on a Friday. By Saturday, there was a correction from Kaiza Zulu. By Sunday, there was a correction from Davis Mwila. And by Sunday afternoon, Mr. Lungu Edgar issued a different variant of that same statement. And here we are today. He is standing in 2021. So I do not expect that someone who could change statements within a 3-day period can suddenly change and become a different man who will concede defeat easily. Because if that was the case, even just looking at what happened in Mazabuka today, that for me, I would resign. I would resign. You look at Mazabuka, you look at Choma, you look at Mwinilunga, you look at Chipata, you look at Mongu, Kaoma. Me, I would resign. I would be like, okay, Hakainde, come to my home. Isa Ochulu, come to my home. Let's sort this out. Let's work out together. That is honor. Sometimes even to accept defeat is very honorable. You walk away with respect. But even at this 11th hour, to start blocking Hakainde from going into Copper Belt, again, for the up-10th time, I do not expect Mr. Lungu to make this easy for himself. But the truth is, he has lost this election. He has lost this election. And he's going to lose by serious margins because the people around President Lungu are demagogues. Demagogues are those people who tell you one thing when the reality is totally different.
President Lungu has been to the Copper Belt, I don't know how many times in 1 week. And the latest trip was to go and commission an airport, which is not completed. And we've circulated a video this afternoon. It's just disgraceful to allow a president to go back to what do you think is the reason why he's remaining in the Copper Belt? And are you going to take HH to the Copper Belt tomorrow?
Not only did he commission an airport that is incomplete, Avic International, the builders of the airport, said embarrassingly that you owe us $100 million. I don't know if he knew what he was saying. He says you owe us $100 million. So in other words, it's an incomplete airport, unpaid for airport, on borrowed money airport. Don't forget, 3 weeks ago, he commissioned Lower Kafue Gorge power station, which is also incomplete. There is no power coming from Kafue Gorge right now. It's incomplete. So they are in a hurry to commission all these projects that are incomplete. I think the only thing they're not commissioned is a Mulungushi Textiles in Kabwe, because that one has been commissioned about 6 times over the past 4 or 5
never know.
years.
They might commission it tomorrow, just a day before. They might commission it tomorrow, a day before elections.
The English say, never fatten a cow on the day of selling it. There is no way that Zambians could have suffered for 7 years under President Lungu. We have suffered. We have really suffered. I have suffered. We are suffering. But suddenly in the last 2 weeks, prior to elections, he wants to commission everything and anything just because he wants to appear a certain way. Unfortunately, that train has since left the station.
Wow. So the last question, Mobita, are you taking HH to the Cooper Belt tomorrow?
Uncle Norman, why do you always talk to me like that? You talk to me like that in private. You talk to me like that on media. Why don't you spare me, Uncle Norman?
I always want to spare you, but I know. What I know is that the people of the Copper Belt, I am in touch with the people in the Copper Belt. They're waiting for HH. So tomorrow is a very big test for the government, not HH, for the government, to show that they are serious when they want democracy. Tomorrow is their big test.
I want to say to the people of Copper Belt that we love you. All things being equal, we are coming to the Copper Belt. All things being equal, we shall be on the Copper Belt. We've been to the Copper Belt before, got stuck in Ndola for 3-4 days, went to Chingola, we got shot at, and we attempted to come back last week. We've been blocked from entering the Copper Belt numerous times. And there is a part of me, at least sitting here as Mobita now, that believes with my whole heart we will not be allowed to enter Copper Belt.
Yeah.
We will not be allowed to enter Copper Belt, because that would be the final nail in this coffin. But I think dead men should never determine, and I'm using that word dead men as a metaphor and a parable, they should never determine their last nail in the coffin. I think our lives should be dedicated to serving humanity. But even if HH does not go in the Copper Belt tomorrow, which I hope he does, to the Zambian people, I want you to know HH will have many more times to come to the Copper Belt to bring real development, real change, and we shall all be happier to have a president that cares not only for Copper Belt, but for the entire Zambia.
Conrad Chisumpa says ECL has been in the Copper Belt like 4 times in 7 days. Tomorrow he will claim that he would want to commission the toilets at Chisokone Market. That's what somebody's saying. And somebody says there was a song which was sung by HH today. Now, can you sing it for the Zambians? HH sang a song. I don't know whether it's in Mazabuka or somewhere.
I wish I could sing the beautiful songs the president sings. I need to learn them. Even yesterday he sang one in Choma. I don't know the song. I need to spend a bit of choir rehearsal. But he sings these songs that are so, almost like, and when he does that and the crowd goes into an echo, it's the most freedom fighter feeling you can ever have. It's just beautiful.
Alan Holland says, General, ECL will be in Lusaka tomorrow attending a virtual rally. So you have got the right to go to the Copper Belt. So that is what is we're getting from our people. Otherwise, a lot of people are saying, thank you so much, Bonawa, for the good job we are doing. And let's finish this job. And that is it. That is it. That is it. The days in the army would have said T-3. Which means it's about to happen on Thursday, the 12th. So I would like to thank you, Bonawa. Are you prepared to come earlier tomorrow so that we can wind up? We don't want to violate the ECZ laws. by campaigning after 6 o'clock Zambian time. We might call you earlier. We might ask HH to do his rally through Bakwetu. I don't know. Whatever we might call you live when you're at a rally, at a place, so that you can just sum up the discussion. But we'll be covering you live from Bakwetu tomorrow, on Thursday, Friday, until he's declared the winner. And to our viewers, I'm sorry that I can't read all your questions here. Now, there's somebody called Njekwa Yui. She says, please advise HH to go to Kanyama instead of CB. It's a trap, please. Kudos to what Honorable Mango is doing. Make sure that you don't go to the Copper Belt, instead go to Kanyama. Okay, so that is one Njekwa Yui saying that. So otherwise, thank you so much, Mobita. Tell the president on behalf of the TV Bakwetu team, we are saying FACA pressure until the job is done. We will be covering you, and if all goes well, we will be there to celebrate with you. And for me, if everything is done, I will come and join in the celebration. So thank you so much on behalf of our team and behalf of our viewers tonight. Please, please, please keep up the good job. And for me, keep the president safe. We're dealing with psychopaths. I think that's the right word. Keep our president safe. Make him wear the mask and make sure that he's safe, because we are dealing with evil people. And to Mr. Lunga and his PF, I think the message is written all over, all the world, everywhere. I think let's protect our country. We are now a disgrace because we've been disgraced everywhere. So let's protect the legacy of Dr. Kaunda, which the person they were trying to insult. He accepted the results in 1991. Mr. Rupia Banda accepted the results in 2011. I spoke to him yesterday after reading that statement. He wants us to protect the legacy of being a peaceful country and a country which talks about democracy and practices democracy. And besides, we're a Christian country. So let's honor the legacy of KK. Let's honor the legacy of Rupia Banda. Let's honor the legacy of all these people who fought for our multi-party democracy by having peaceful elections, but accepting the results. And my appeal, I'm going to rant about the people who are coming from Malawi and the PS who's busy organizing these people in the Eastern Province. Stop doing what you're doing. You are disgracing our country and you're trying to turn against the will of the people. So, Bonawa, thank you so much. Go and sleep, my dear son. You have a big job, and we'll hope that you have a safe trip to the Copper Belt, because the Copper Belt is red and ready and waiting for HH. So have a lovely time, and thank you so much for coming to Bakwetu TV tonight.
Thank you, General. God bless you.
God bless you. Our viewers, we have covered quite a lot of things there. Now let's move on. Let's move to the issue of Kaunda's video. Those of you who have not watched Kaunda's video, which the PF have actually clearly doctored and used it to say KK said that he doesn't want HH because he was a tribalist, he would divide the country. Yesterday, I told you that I was going to have a serious tantrum because that is not the Kaunda I know. This evening, I spoke to Panji Kaunda. He's disgusted. Those of you who have not seen that video, it has been on ZNBC, it has been on Movie TV, it has been everywhere. I saw it myself yesterday. And I find it disrespectful, it's disgraceful for them to use the voice and the picture of Dr. Kaunda to divide. Basically, they want to drag Dr. Kaunda down to the level of Kambwili. The Dr. Kaunda I knew was not like that. The Dr. Kaunda I saved was not like that. And I think it's a disgrace for the PF government. It's a disgrace for the PF the media team. It's a disgrace for them to pull the legacy of Dr. Kaunda to the level of Kambwili. And I'm saying to you, Zambians, what these people have done, ignore them. Ignore them because they are desperate. I said it when Dr. Kaunda died, that PF was trying to use Dr. Kaunda's death for their campaign. And they're continuing to do that, even after his death. They want to use Dr. Kaunda's death, his name, his legacy to campaign for PF. Dr. Kaunda was never, 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 never a tribalist. Dr. Kaunda was never anybody who would utter such words. Because I knew Dr. Kaunda very well. And tomorrow you will hear from Panji Kaunda. He might come here, but he's addressing a press conference in Chipata tomorrow to just tell the Zambians to say what PF has done is disgraceful. It's disgraceful. I'm sorry, viewers, some technical problem I had here. It's disgraceful and it's unchristian that you can take the voice of an old man who died, our first president, and use it as a campaign tool just because you hate HH. I don't mind somebody saying all the nonsense he's saying. I don't mind Mr. Lungu saying all the nonsense he's saying. I don't mind Antonio Manza. I don't mind Luo saying whatever they want to say. But for goodness sake, do not use Dr. Kaunda as a campaign tool. Do not drag the legacy of that great man as a campaign tool. And for me, I find that unacceptable. And I hope that Panji and the is told to really, really, really apologize for that. They must apologize for whoever doctored that video, whoever thought of this idea of using Dr. Kaunda must apologize. Because it's wrong. It's unethical, it's wrong, it's un-African, it's just disgraceful. And that's what I wanted to say, viewers, tonight. That is, I'm not sure whether Jeremy, are you able to hear us? Hi,
Hello,
Jeremy.
General. Hello, General.
Good evening, Jeremy. Are you able to hear us? What do you think about the video, Dr. Kaunda's video?
General, that is a serious propaganda by the PF, and that shows you that these people are desperate and they have no message to give the Zambian people. They have failed to campaign to the Zambian people. They have failed to tell the Zambian people what they have done. But what we have just seen is corruption after corruption. We have seen each ministry with different corrupt scandals, which the PF has failed to defend themselves or to come out clean. So for me now, I can see them going now making propaganda from an innocent person. Who is a church to divide this country? Are we fools? They should not take us like we are fools, General. We are very much educated and people who think by ourselves. We cannot be dancing to the vuvuzelas of PF. Who's a church to divide this country? Using what? Themselves, they have pushing Kambwili to try to divide us, but he has failed. Now they want to push it to say church is going to divide the country. No, a church is going to unite the country. This country, they are forcing it in terms of division. Look the way PF was divided in terms of giving senior most positions in government positions. Talk of the permanent secretaries, talk of the directors, talk of other people. You find that they have divided the country. But here is a gentleman by the name of HH who's saying to say no, every Zambian matters, and every Zambian who's capable to provide the service to the Zambian people should be given an opportunity to give service to the fellow citizens. Well, on the other hand, the PF guys, they are not doing the way they are supposed to do. Instead, to them, in their ruling, in their leadership, there is a lot of nepotism, there is a lot of tribalism. No wonder they failed to rule this country.
It's sad, Jeremy. Thank you so much. I know that you are traveling, Jeremy, so travel safely, but you can continue joining us. And I want to remind Zambians. I want to remind Zambians that the PF's appointments for the position of PSs, 95% of them, if not 97%, are from northern and eastern provinces. The list is there. The same with the directors of any government officers or government departments. The same appointment. Go to IDC. It's the same region, the same northern region and eastern province. Go to the diplomatic service. It's the same thing. And you cannot call somebody tribalist when you yourself are appointing people from the same region. I will give you an example. The Minister of Finance, Dr. Kaunda, his young brother is the chairman of ZRA. And who's the Director General of ZRA is another cousin of theirs. How can you run a government like that? And that is what is happening in the PF government everywhere. Whether you are a PS, you must be from the north or you must be from the east. Diplomats, the same story. Directors, the same story. In the boards, whether it's Zamtel, whether it's Zicta, whether it's all the boards, it's the same story. Now, who's a tribalist? If you can appoint people from the same region, where this Kambwiri is actually saying what PF is doing. When they find that your name is Chipakupaku, even if you are so qualified, they will never look at you. You must have a certain name or certain names for you to qualify. And they are trying to do this even in the army, even in the Air Force. Now we are told even the young brother of Sunday Chanda is one of those who qualified in the Air Force last week. Same thing in the army, national service. Everywhere, they are putting their own relatives in these positions, not recruited on merit. So who's a tribalist? Who's dividing the country? It's these people who are dividing our people every time. And I think Zambians, it's time for us to put a stop to this. It has to stop. And using Dr. Kaunda's name is a disgrace. It's a disgrace, Mr. Lungu. It's a disgrace to the media team. It's a disgrace to whoever decided to do that. I just hope, like what Rose Limerick is saying, I hope that Panji can take them to court. Because if that was my father, I was going to take them to court. Because it's disgraceful. I think I've done my ranting, ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy, and let's move on to what is happening in the northern province and the Copper Belt. Ladies and gentlemen, the PF has been working with two teachers' unions. One of them is called the Petus, and the other one is called Nupez. These teachers' unions have been asked to run all the constituencies, most of the constituencies in the Copper Belt and in Northern Province. They've been made polling assistants to make sure, like yesterday, these same Petus people and the Pus people, yesterday they replaced all the polling assistants in Chipili constituency where Davis Miller's brother is, and they put in teachers who are all PF. And if they think that we're lying, please, Mr. Henry Sinkala, General Secretary of NUPES, deny this fact that your teachers are in the Northern Province and the Copper Belt, and they are the ones manning the polling stations, including Chipiri, where you've replaced, yesterday they replaced all the polling assistants Some of them who were trained by ECZ were replaced yesterday. The same story is happening everywhere in the Copper Belt. I will not mention a name of a headmaster in Chingola who has been given the responsibility to replace all the polling agents and even buy the UPND polling agents. So Zambians, when you hear there's a problem in the Northern Province and the Copper Belt, remember Mr. Henry Sinkala, General Secretary of NEPUS. And there's another gentleman who is also leading PETUS. These are the people who are working with PF to bring confusion in the Northern Province, to bring confusion in the Copper Belt, especially in Chingola. And ladies and gentlemen, do not think that what I'm telling you in Chipiri constituency, where the young brother of Davis Mwila, Secretary General of PF, basically they've taken over the whole polling, all the polling stations there, using teachers, and some of these teachers are actually going to be given uniforms from the police. So when you see people in uniform, police uniforms, don't think all those are police. Some of them are teachers from Nupez, and some of them are from Petus, because they've been given a special assignment. Those are some of the people who are giving instructions to say, Northern Province, there must be 100% vote turnout. Even people without NRCs, as long as they come in, they'll be told to vote. These are the people who have been given instructions to say, young women who have been given voters cards will come with bags. Polling agents and all our officials in Northern Province and throughout the country, do not allow anybody going in a polling station with a handbag. Don't. Because there's a trick here. They'll go in with marked ballot paper. If they go in with a handbag, tell them to leave it down before they go and vote. So Zambians, we have only got 1 day to go. PF is playing tricks. Is playing tricks, trying to make sure that they influence these votes and either use those stolen ballot papers and influence the change in the decision of the people of the Northern Province and throughout the country. By the way, it's just not just Northern Province, it's throughout the country. Some of the teachers' unions and some of the civil servants have been used by PF to try and turn against the will of the people. So it's very, very important that we tonight we really name and shame, just as I named and shamed yesterday that general. If he wants, he can go to court. I'm prepared to face him because we know we've got the evidence. Mr. Henry Sinkala, the General Secretary of NUPEZ, stop betraying your people, sir. Those of you who know him, phone him tonight and tell him to stop betraying the Zambian people. Because that's not fair. This is a democracy. In democracy, General, people vote. Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Are you getting me?
Jeremy? Yes, I am.
Okay. General, one thing that the people need to know is these so-called unions. They don't even have members whom they can say these are members, but they just steal people's money, especially the main culprits of all the people who have been stolen money for are the teachers. And as we take over government on a Thursday, we needed to rectify this problem, and teachers should have one union that should be speaking on their behalf. Unlike these people we have seen who are claiming operating themselves as union members, where they have their personal agenda or personal activities which they are pushing. These are the people who have been sent to go explain the debt swap as if it's their thing, well, it is the thing of the government. So these again people who call themselves unionists. I've seen there are people who don't mean well for their members, but who propagate their personal agendas and their selfish interest in the pretense of saying that we are representing people whom they cannot appoint to say these are the people we are representing. So, general members of the public should not even worry about the petus or whatever. Some of these boys cannot even convince their own wives to vote for PF. So how can they come and convince other people to vote for other candidates? They can't. So we are saying let them go to whatever they want to go. Let them go to hell. We don't care. But they cannot influence anyone, General. That's what I can tell you. The other thing I want to mention to the members of the public, General, is we have some information where they are saying that those people who have been sent as polling agents, they have been instructed to start giving 2 ballot papers to people whom they will be directing them to say this is the one who should be given 2 ballot papers to vote 2 times. But those people who are there, they have already indicated to us to say this is the information which we have been given, and once it happens we are going to inform you to say, oh, these and these are the people. So whatever the method the PF wants to use, they will not manage, because we have also our people who are telling us what is happening there. So this time, in terms of rigging, General, there is nothing of rigging. Just like I've mentioned to you yesterday, someone just one of the people there just told me to say, we have been told ECZ is going to pay us, but there will be another man who will come to pay us more money so that we start giving some people 2 ballot papers. Who does that? They will not manage, General. We are going to make sure that those people whom have been sent to get 2 ballot papers, they will be there voting for Hakainde Hichilema. So instead of Edgar Lungu getting 2 votes, it will be Hakainde Hichilema getting 2 votes, and they'll start crying to say, no, HH has leaked. But it's not him, it is them who wanted to rig, but they gave our cadres to go vote with 2 ballot papers. So PF, watch out.
Happening is that PF thinks we don't know what's happening. The same people they're talking to, including Petu's members, are coming to us and telling us exactly what's happening. So, like in Chingola, we know what the Debs man in Chingola, I will not mention his name, but we know, Mr. Debs, what you're doing, and we know what is happening, and we will follow you, and our people are going to follow you. So if you want to think that you are going to rig, we know every step PF is taking. Like the people of Petus and some of these unions are completely useless unions. And I think after Monday next week, there will be need to sort of revise the law, because some of these unions are just political. They are just PF surrogates. And I can tell you that we will revise the law and make sure that they're only recognized unions, because some of these unions were formed by PF. And that is not going to happen. After Monday next week, we will make sure that we recognize the unions which are recognized by the teachers and not political unions. So, viewers, that is what we wanted to say. Copper Belt, Northern Province, and throughout the country, watch for these union officials. Watch for Petus, watch for the Lupez, and watch for these district education board secretaries. They are all being used by PF. And watch them. And when you're a polling agent, watch them. The next thing, viewers, I would like to, Jeremy, which I would like to go to, is we are very, very shocked with what is happening in the Eastern Province. The Eastern Province, along the border with Malawi, PF is ferrying people from Malawi, from Mozambique, to come and vote. What is disgusting about this is that government officials are involved. Senior government officials are involved. The National Service is involved. And it's disgusting that the PF can take head teachers and start giving them police uniforms. It's happening in Eastern Province. I will not name the names now, but the permanent secretary who's involved knows that we know. That's why we called you this evening, Mr. PS, that stop what you're doing. Don't betray the Zambian people. I will not give you your name, but you know yourself, Mr. PS. Stop doing what you're doing in Eastern Province. Stop facilitating foreigners coming to vote. Stop providing the transport and schools to be used for accommodation. You cannot have one school, one primary school, having 8 polling stations. Those of you who are from Eastern Province, Tamanda Primary School in Chipangali and Tamanda Secondary School in Chipangali, those 2 schools have got 22 polling stations in one area. What are those polling stations for? Because we know that Tamanda and Chipangali are just close to Malawi. How can you have 22 polling stations in one area? There's something not right here, Zambians. And Zambians, it's time for you to wake up, especially those of you on the borders. On the border with Malawi, on the border with Mozambique, in Vubwi, in Sintamsare, in Nyimba, in Petauke, in Chama, in Lundazi, in Congo, in Tanzania, Nakonde. Watch what's going to happen on Thursday. Not even Thursday, because we hear some of these people are being transported tonight in the Eastern Province. And I'll give you an example, Tamanda Primary School in the Eastern Province. I don't know what is happening in all these other places like Vubwi. It's the same story. In Sindamsale, it's the same story. It's disgraceful. Mr. Lungu, if you are popular, why should you bring foreigners to come and vote? PF, if you are very, very popular, why should you bring foreigners to come and vote? And even arrange schools to feed them and food. And then you're going to pay them and then transport them back. It's disgraceful. And Mr. PS, who's in the Eastern Province, I will not name you because I did phone you this afternoon. Stop betraying the Zambian people, Mr. PS. Stop betraying the Zambian people. Stop betraying our people in Chipangali. Stop giving headmasters uniforms, police uniforms, because this is what is happening. We know the people you have given uniforms. Some of them were phoning them tonight and telling them, please stop doing what you are doing. So, Jeremy, have you got any comment about that? Do you think it's going to happen the same thing in the Copper Belt? Because I grew up in Mpulira. Congo is just around the corner. What do you think is going to happen in the Copper Belt, Jerome?
General, like you have mentioned in Malawi, don't forget that Cambodia has insulted the people of Malawi and its governance by saying or stating that the people of Malawi are regretting for changing the government, while themselves were celebrating. So those people they are getting from Malawi, if they think they are coming to vote for PF, they are lying to themselves because they want to make sure.
Are you there, Jeremy?
That the PF that has come with your general, we should not worry much. You find that those people, they will definitely return and give us more votes for us.
Yeah, our viewers, I'm sorry that Jerome is traveling
and
tonight.
I can assure you they will.
Jerome, go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry, my network is not fine, but I hope you'll be able to get a few things. So in Copper Belt, those things general will not happen, but we'll make sure that the people come to vote, even if they call people from Congo, even if they call people from wherever, they will come and vote for President Aga in the Ichilema, because even the foreigners themselves, they have seen that for Zambia, the only sober president who's standing for the president is a President Aka in Dechem. Same with those people who are claiming in Malawi. They are also coming to vote for President Aka in Dechem, because PF's Kambiri has gone further to even insult the foreigners like the Malawans. So that's the challenge which is there. So we should not worry much, General, but we should just be vigilant.
Yeah, I think our appeal should be all our polling agents, all our officials, and all Zambians watch what's going to happen. When you see a truck ferrying people in your constituency, find out where these people are from. And when you see a police officer, look at this police officer and really don't take what you see for granted. You'll be seeing some of these teachers in police uniform. Some of the police officers you will see are genuine police officers. Some of them who love Zambia. Some of them are even telling us what is happening. But some of these people will be wearing uniform starting from tonight are not even police officers. I'll tell you, in Tamanda area, they've already distributed uniforms to headmasters. Police uniform. What should the headmaster do with a police uniform? It's just sad. It's really, really sad. Catalina Mwanza says, General, invite guests. Catalina, I've had a problem with the technology tonight, and I think Munsha is having a problem as well. I could have posted, Jeremy, are you able to post the link so that we can use the last 30 minutes to have a discussion with people? Can you post the link, please?
Okay, General, let me post the link now, and I think let me also log out since now my network is giving. I'll post the link on the Facebook page for Bakwetu. Yeah,
okay,
so
go
let me
ahead and
post
do that. Our viewers, I will use
so,
the last 20 minutes. Meanwhile, Jeremy, travel safely because we need you. Meanwhile, please go ahead and post the link on the Facebook page if you can, and then I'll give our viewers, those who want to join us, come in. We will allow you, but we want to hear your views on the topics which we have raised tonight. Whilst we're waiting for the link, I'll read some of your comments here. There is Russia's Rupster Kaiser something says, just mention that person, General. You're not helping by hiding those idiots. I'm sorry, some of these people we've already found them. This PS, we've already found him. We've told him. Probably want me to mention his name. I will mention his name. He's the PS from one call to go. If you want them. They were giving them 5. This is Gosham Mutomo says they're giving them more than 5 ballot papers, and we know, and they've sent some other people in different places. Mutondo, thank you so much for this information. We will make sure that our people know. We know what they've done. Some of the people have been given 3 ballot papers, and they'll be coming with handbags. Do not allow handbags, especially with young girls. Do not allow them to have handbags. George Buaria says, don't hide the names of criminals like that in Chingola, man. Expose them so that they don't tamper with our democracy. George Buaria, here you go. The Debs man in Chingola is Mr. Simulunga. That's the Debs, because that's what you want. Mr. Simulunga is a Debs in Chingola. That's the name, George Buaria. If he is arguing with you, tell him to say, we know what is happening. Okay? And Let me get the comments whilst we are getting. Let me get the comments whilst we are getting those who want to join us on the link. And remember also that you are free to give us stars. Please give us stars so that we keep this this thing going. And let me get another comment from our viewers. Whilst those of you who have got the link, please join us. We have another 15 to 20 minutes so that I hear your views. There are very few comments here. Let me see what I can get, viewers. There's one of my favorite viewers, Nikeso Masua, says, rigging will not work this year. HH is heading to State House. God has answered our prayers. Nikeso, let's go and vote. Let's tell all our relatives in the village to go and vote. But we must also be alert. Use our ears and I think use your eyes as well. Let's keep our eyes open. Josie Piri says, please name them. I've already named them, Josie. I've named these people. I'm not hiding them. I'm not hiding. I've given you the name. Somebody saying, Mr. Home Affairs Minister, yeah, well, there's a Mr. Masia here, Mr. Masia Banda. That's the person. Okay. Yeah, Katarina, you're saying General Maranda Sana invite some people. I'm trying to get the link, Katarina. I would like you to join us if you can. Try and check the link, Katarina. It must be on the system by now. Another comment coming from Musamba says, true, a PF say they are popular, but bringing foreigners to vote, they have stooped to the tremendous laws. However, we are not even shocked as they are desperate. You are right, Musamba. They are very, very desperate. So if there's anybody, viewers, who has got the link, if you've got the link, please can you make sure that you join us, because we've posted the link on the Facebook page. And another, Alex Lubinda says, "Why UPND na dating never complaints sure." No, Alex Lubinda, we're not complaining. We are telling you the truth. We want a fair game here, a very, very fair game. If you win a fair game, no problem, but don't cheat. Do not use headmasters and give them uniforms. What are you giving a headmaster police uniform for? Let's have a fair game. You win, you win. You lose, you lose. If you play it as a fair game, that's fine. And I've got the link there. It has already been posted, and so I will see whether I can share it again. Kennedy Capiola Kampamba, please come in. You've got the link. Kennedy Capiola Kampamba, you've shared the link. Can you come in, please? And well, General, this is Prince Dennis Muchindo. General, we need to go and vote. Any transport, HH should be in State House. Any transport, can you just inbox me, Princess Dennis Muchindo, and then we can see what we can do. I'm not promising everything. I'm not promising that we'll give you money, but if someone can give you a lift, we'll arrange that. Kennedy Capiolio, Kampamba, please can you repost that stream? The StreamYard is there. Please come in if you want to come in. Katauka Mufelo. Yes, that is the link. Please, can you join us, Katauka? I want to give you the chance, 15 minutes to come in. That is the link. You've got the link. Can you just join us? Okay. Somebody says, Soretse Semi, how can foreigners who are not Zambians vote? No, I think the PF government should go. There is a problem with Mr. Lungu. He has degraded his integrity. There is no democracy. Mr. Lungu is risking Zambia's ties with the US government. Democracy, which should prevail. The world is watching and hearing what is on the media. Those to be given police uniforms with these guys as police to rig, ECZ should have a register for officers to do the work. Unfortunately, Tereso Saime, ECZ is also involved in this scam. It's involved in this scam because there's no way that the ECZ would not know who the police officers are going to be in the polling station. They know what's happening. It's just sad. Really, really sad. So anybody who has got the link, ladies and gentlemen, please, can you come and join me? Because I'm alone tonight. And I'm trying to read as many comments as I can. Peter Lengalenga says, PF have campaigned for HH in his behalf. I mean, all they can say, Kumozi pa Presdo Wabo is HH. I don't know what you mean there, Peter Lengalenga, but I think I agree with you that PF has been campaigning for HH every day. And Noah Nakwamba says in Chongwe, Obama area, they are planning at a lodge and car wash. They are monitored. Madam must say, okay. So in Chongwe, there's something happening there. Please watch. Be very, very careful because the police, when you come and approach these people, some of them will be rough with you. So be very, very careful. Okay. Nelia Piri says, poll agents must be vigilant. Some people may hide ballot papers in their pockets, jackets. You are very right, Nelia. These people are very, very desperate. Anything can happen. Okay? And somebody's Buana Zulu says, PF prepared for these elections 2 years ago. Yeah, they started stealing these, tried to steal these elections 2 years ago, but it's not going to happen, Mr. Buana Zulu. It's not going to happen because Zambians are at work. Chiminya Mama Gaddafi, you've got a comment which I can't read here, but if you've got, if you want to you've got information which you want us to pass to the UPND team, please just inbox me and I'll pass the information for you. All right. We still have 7 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, it's strange that nobody's able to join us today. Roderick Kaiva, you just say Chitotela, Northern Region. What has Chitotela done? Okay. Somebody said Chanda Mwamba Raid says, General, block these people insulting here. No, we don't block these people. It's a sign that they're desperate, Chanda Mwamba. If you hear them insult their PF, they don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. They are very used to insulting. Since I came here, this is almost 1.5 hours. Have you heard me insult anybody? No, we don't insult. We give you facts. So if you hear them insult, don't waste your time. You know that they're PF. Those insults are finishing on Saturday. Those insults will finish on Saturday. They'll be hiding, some of them. Okay? Uncle Norman, you've been advising people to stand 100 meters from polling station after voting. Stress that pig. Stress that the pig has said 400 meters. No, the law says 100 meters. 100 meters, Inza, this is my niece. 100 meters, that's what the law says. So if the pig is saying something else, that's a different thing. Nobody's able to join us. So let me use the last 7 minutes, viewers, to try and explain to you about how to vote, how you prepare to go and vote. We have just received one important information for ladies. No nail polish will be allowed. So clean your nails tomorrow, because you will not be allowed to have nail polish on your thumb. My suggestion is that you make sure that both thumbs, the nail polish is removed. I don't know why, but that's the rule. No nail polish for our ladies. So please, if you're going to vote, remove the nail polish tomorrow. 2, you are not allowed to wear any regalia, whether UPND, whether PF, whether DP, whether Nevas Mumbas regalia. No, not even the colors. So if you love a red shirt, you love a red t-shirt, do not wear it, because they will harass you and they will not allow you to vote. Wake up early, because we hear PF wants to go and vote early in the morning, so that by 8 o'clock, by 9 o'clock, they should be harassing you so that you run away, you don't go and vote. Go in groups. Don't go alone. Go in groups so that they don't attack you. And the other thing you should do is take your mask. Take your mask with you. Buy a mask tomorrow, or prepare a cloth mask. As long as it's a double cloth mask and tie it around you, it's acceptable. Because if you don't have a mask, they will not allow you to vote. So get a mask. Women, no nail polish, no regalia. Get to the polling station in groups early in the morning with your voter's card and your national registration card. And when you get to the line, you are not allowed to receive anything on the line. We are getting reports that PF will be telling you to take marked ballot papers. Do not accept anything, because if you do that, you'll be violating the law, and if you are caught, you'll be arrested. And our people will be watching. Do not receive anything. Even if they promise you 100,000, do not. Because they want you to take pre-marked ballot papers, go in, and you put in your pre-marked ballot paper and the other one, which means you'll be voting twice, and it's illegal to do that. So if you're on the line, do not allow anybody to come and tell you stories about PF. There'll be there'll be no campaigning on the lines. You're not allowed to do that. When you get inside the polling station, they will ask you to check your voter's card and your NRC. They will check on the register, and then they will make sure that when you're in the register, they will give you 4 ballot papers. These ballot papers, 4 of them, one is for the president, the next one is for the MP, the third one is for your council chairman or mayor, the fourth one is for your councillor. These ballot papers must be stamped at the back of each of those ballot papers, because we hear that the ones they've stolen have already been stamped by ECZ. I don't know how, but we hear they've already been stamped. So make sure that your ballot papers are stamped, because if they are not stamped, they will not be valid papers. And if somebody is telling you, no, just put them there in the box without stamping them, refuse. So when you go there, look for the symbol of the hand, Kwanja, Zanja. And there might be a picture of HH on the left, then Zanja. And on the right-hand side of the Zanja, there will be a box there. You mark an X for the president, mark an X for your MP, mark an X on Zanja for the council chairman or mayor, mark an X again for the councillor. Then take those boxes, those ballot papers, into the different boxes. There'll be 4 boxes. One of them is for the president with a different color, MP, council chairman or mayor, and councillor. Now, people in the northern province and people in the eastern province, listen to what I'm going to tell you now. PF is saying, if you don't like Mr. Lungu, put an X against Mr. Lungu. Osamvera Boza, do not listen to that lie. If you don't like Mr. Lungu, go and vote for HH. Go to the hand and put X. They are saying our northern province, if you don't want Tamulefoya Balungu, mulevika pa X after Mr. Lungu's upper vote wabika X, which means you don't like him. Buffy. So make sure that you go there and vote at the right time, at the right place, and you put an X. Don't tick, don't write your name, but just an X. You put those ballot papers, finally, you leave, they'll put an ink on your thumb, you go out, go home, go and take your food, come back and stand 100 meters away from the polling station. This story of saying 400 meters, Wolfie, that's a lie. It's against the law. The law says 100 meters. The idea there is to make sure that you protect your vote. But whilst you are on the line, listen, watch what's happening, because that's where PF is going to be lying. The polling agents, we've tried to train our polling agents. You must, if you are a polling agent, make sure that you are not bought. Make sure that you watch. Do not sell Zambia for 200 kwacha or for 2,000 kwacha or whatever. No. So that is the way to vote. I will repeat, no nail polish, no regalia, and remember that when you go in, your NRC and your voter's card. 4 ballot papers, they must be stamped on the back, and you vote using an X against the Kwanja, Ukuboko, and then you put them in the ballot box. Do not give them to anybody else. If you have spoiled the ballot paper, go back and get another one. You're allowed to do that. So that is the message for tonight. And tomorrow is the last day of campaigning. So by law, by 18 hours in Zambia, there'll be no campaigning. And my appeal to you Zambians who are listening, phone your relatives, remember to pass this message which we've given to you, and prepare to go and vote. Our appeal is go and vote in big numbers. If you go and vote in big numbers, all these rigging tricks by Mr. Lunga, these people will not work. But between now and tomorrow, if you've got anything you are seeing, you are hearing, let us know. And we'll keep our people alert. So I just wanted to say thank you so much tonight, especially to Mobita, for joining us and telling us what is happening. We've also looked at the video of Dr. Kaunda. I didn't show it to you, but it's disgusting. Do not listen to what they are trying to do to use Dr. Kaunda for campaigning. It's disgusting. And please, please, if you have not seen the video, watch it. Remember that that thing is doctored. It's a lie. The other issue which we discussed today is that Mr. Lungu doesn't want HH to go to the Copper Belt. He's scared. He's been to the Copper Belt 4 times in 1 week. And viewers, remember that this man, every time he flies to Copper Belt, he's flying using your money, your taxpayers' money. All the lunches are paid by you. But he doesn't want HH to go to the Copper Belt. But now he has told us that HH will be in the Copper Belt tomorrow. The next item which we dealt was the teachers' union, PETUs and NEPUs. We have told you that some teachers, Debs of Chingola, and what they're trying to do in the northern province. Please, if you are a member of PETUs or a member of NUPES, tell your Secretary General to say what they are doing is wrong. And I've mentioned names here, Mr. Henry Sinkala, NUPES. I've also mentioned the Debs here, Mr. Sumulmunga, Debs Shingola. If they're relatives, your friends, phone them and tell them what you're doing is wrong. We have also looked at what is happening on the border, Chipangali constituency, and the rest of Eastern Province. As we're talking to you now, some teachers are being given police uniforms. Some foreigners are being ferried. I know Musha says it doesn't matter if they're Malawian, they are Zambians. For me, I don't believe in that because it's illegal for a foreigner to vote. So if you're in the Eastern Province, if you're on the border with the even Angola, yes, Angola, if you're on the border with the Mozambique, Congo, Tanzania, and Nakonde, watch what is happening because these people are up to no good. So that is our presentation for tonight. I know it has been hard because my colleagues are traveling, but I just wish we could get a lot of people to join us. The link is there, but nobody is able to join us. I don't know what's happening. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us and for preparing to get ready for the voting on Thursday. I'm still very, very convinced by Monday next week, probably Saturday or Monday next week, this week, we will have a new president who is the seventh president of the Republic of Zambia. We want a peaceful election. We want a peaceful election. So I only hope between now and the day of voting that it's going to be peaceful because Zambia has always been a peaceful country. We don't want our country to be damaged, reputation to be damaged because the Americans are already doubting us. The EU has just issued a statement. We also hope that tomorrow, between now and tomorrow, the internet won't be down. If the internet is down, some of our members, we have told you what to do. You can still pick the internet without using the Zambian system. If you want to know how, inbox us, we'll let you know. We will still be broadcasting from here. So we want to thank you for your contribution for the stars. We thank you for your comments. And we also thank you for the information which we have been passing to you. From Scotland, on behalf of Musha, on behalf of Jeremy, who's traveling, and on behalf of young Frank, who's nursing the baby, and on behalf of our technical team on the technical side, I want to say thank you and signing off from Scotland. We love you, and let's keep our country safe. Let's get a new government by Friday, ladies and gentlemen. HH has got a good team which will turn our economy around, which will turn all these issues around. I'm very certain about that. Good night from Scotland, and may God continue to bless our country. May God continue to guide Mr. Lungu, and may God continue to protect HH. From Scotland, good night.